Let me take a step back and just make sure that every one of you got the whole idea behind the unique mechanism. The way I think is I think like a prosecutor. I think like somebody who is presenting a case. I am presenting a case. I'm presenting a case to a jury. And in the end, what do I need the jury to believe? Maybe in the end I need the jury to believe this person is guilty of this crime and should be punished at the utmost severity. That's the end belief. That's the thesis. I'm a prosecutor. I'm presenting a case. That is ultimately where I need the jury to get to. If they don't get to that thesis, I lose. I lose. When I give the call to action to find him guilty, they don't do it. Right? So I know as a prosecutor that it's my job to lead them there, to that point. And so you need to understand in your marketing funnel, what is that point? What is that belief that they need to have? I'll give you an example in just a second. Then you need to ask yourself, well, what are the sub-beliefs that they need to have to naturally come to the thesis? So, in other words, what that means is that how do you lead a jury to believe that somebody is guilty? Well, there are a few things that they're going to need to believe, right? Maybe that the person had a motive, that the person had a violent past, that, the person was there, I don't know, right? A bunch of, and it's, if the jury believes those things, each of those things, one at a time, right? You'll lead them naturally to the thesis. Well, that's the same thing that we do with the marketing funnel, right? So I start with the end belief. The way we create that end belief, that thesis, is by establishing the sub-beliefs that they need to have, right? So remember, marketing, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change their belief. I'm trying to change their feeling. I'm trying to change their perspective. That's what we're doing. Let me give you an example first, and then I'll break it down for you. So I have this client we had a client who was selling a Facebook advertising system for pizzeria owners. Like, of all things, right? You would never think like pizzeria owners, just pizzeria owners. And but sometimes when you narrow the focus, right, you become the specialist, and specialists get paid more than generalists do, always. And so he had this system, this methodology that he used for Facebook ads for pizzerias. And so obviously the thesis, and this is going back now, but the thesis was something like, that his approach, that this specific type of Facebook advertising approach was the easiest, fastest, and most effective way for pizzeria owners to get more patrons from the internet, right? That was the thesis, if you will. That was the one belief that he needed them to have. And so now we had to go back to the very beginning, right? And we had to establish all of the things that those pizzeria owners needed to believe so that they would believe that thesis. So let's start from the beginning and let's think about it. So first of all, they had to believe, these pizzeria owners, that the internet is a viable advertising medium, right? It goes without saying that if they don't believe that the internet is a viable advertising medium, that they're not going to be interested in buying a course on Facebook advertising. They need to believe that the internet is a viable advertising medium for pizzerias, right? Because they could believe that it is a viable advertising medium, but maybe not for pizzerias. Maybe it works if you're selling shoes. Maybe it works if you're selling supplements. Maybe it doesn't work, right? So maybe it doesn't work if you have a pizzeria, right? So they have to believe that it's a viable medium for pizzerias. Then they have to believe that their people in their local geographic area are accessible online, right? Because maybe they believe, it works. It works, but I can't advertise internationally, right? So they have to believe that their local people are accessible online. They have to believe that their local people that are accessible online are responding to online restaurant ads. right? These are things they need to believe. How about this one? They need to believe that paid traffic is better than free traffic for a pizzeria, right? Because if they don't believe that, and they believe that free traffic is better, then they're going to say, well, why would I pay for a Facebook advertising course? Why don't I just can't I do a Google Map thing? Like, can't I show up on Google? Why would I ever do, right? They have to believe that paid is better than free. And what's the next thing that they have to believe? That Facebook is the best of all paid. If they don't, they might believe everything we've said up to this point. They might believe everything we've said up to this point. I get it. My people are on there. My people are accessible. They're responding to online ads for pizzerias. I get it. Paid traffic is better than free. But Twitter ads, that's where it's at. Twitter ads. Done. We lost, right? And so that's the I'm the prosecutor, right, presenting a case. If I leave that there, oh man, I'm done. And so that's another belief that we have to establish, that Facebook is right? And we have to establish that it's easy. You don't need a webmaster, like you don't need, right, somebody, sorry, just example right now, that's fine. And that, right, and these are and that, right, you can see it in ROI very quickly, right, and that it's you could be up and running in 10 minutes, right? Like, let's say these are the things that that they need to believe. Now listen to me. Listen to me carefully. I didn't mention anything about the product. What I did was I established the thesis, I established the argument in their mind. So where did we lead them to? Where did we lead these pizzeria owners to? We led them to the point where they said, if we stopped right there and we cut it off right there, pizzeria owners would be like, wow, now I know exactly what I need to do. Now I know the most efficient way to get new people into my pizzeria from the internet. Now I understand exactly what I need to do. Thank you so much. You've opened my eyes. You've shown me what I need to do. You've made it clear. Now I understand what and why I need to do. You see, that's why when we then introduce the offer, we look like a hero. That's why I say, and I know, individuals, folks out in the marketplace think that, I must be out of my mind when I say that prospects are grateful. They're grateful when you make the offer. They're grateful. Why? Because they just bought into the fact, in this example, in this case, that that's Facebook advertising done with this unique approach is the best, easiest, and fastest way to get people in their pizzeria.